Its essential ideas have filtered out into our ordinary thinking, overthrowing the common sense of doing your bit. We have all been corrupted, down to the small choices of daily life. We have come to believe that it is pointless to vote, harmless to access music, news, and other online content without paying, and inevitable that people will exaggerate their insurance claims or avoid paying tax whenever possible. And we walk along busy city streets, absorbed in our smartphones, paying little attention to avoiding collisions with other people. In all these cases, we rely on the efforts or contributions of others, without which the collective activity in question would be impossible. On other occasions, there is no serious collective activity because free-rider thinking leads us to abandon hope before we even begin. Many people despair about climate change in these terms. How did we get to this? And how did we become a world in which, while the rich countries have become even richer, many more of their citizens rely on soup kitchens and food banks? Is it partly because we've been told that making the rich richer is good for the economy, but making the poor richer is bad? How did so many of us come to believe all these things when not so long ago we had very different beliefs and values? Whatever your views about bankers, corporate profits, voting, free online content, climate change, or inequality, we often seem locked into our present way of thinking. Some commentators have called it neoliberalism, but you won't hear that word again in this book. Footnote. I avoid using the word because most people never use it, and those who do cannot agree on its meaning. End of footnote. Economics appears to constrain the choices available to us. More than that, it shapes the questions we ask and the problems we see. The acceptable answers are influenced by our economics-derived morality. So if we hope for change, an essential first step is to understand how we came to this, where these powerful new economic ideas came from, and how they came to have such a hold over us. The answer is far from obvious. After all, by turns we seem to ridicule economics and then defer to it. We did not adopt our present way of thinking through deliberate choice, but it didn't happen by chance. It wasn't a conspiracy, but from some angles it looks like one. To see where it all began, travel to Geneva, Switzerland. Take a train going east, running along the edge of Lake Geneva, Lac Léman. At Vevey, alight and take the funicular railway which ascends Mont Pèlerin. Your hotel is just 2 minutes' walk from the top station of the funicular railway. In 1947, about 50 people made this journey to what was then called the Hôtel du Parc. Most of them were university academics, along with a few journalists and business people. They were united by fear and loathing of the direction that many countries seemed to be taking. At that time, in almost every country, the state was assuming a bigger role than before. The depression and mass unemployment of the 1930s was still a vivid memory. Economic crisis had played a part in the rise of fascism and the subsequent catastrophes of the Second World War. As peace returned to Europe, no one wanted a return to mass unemployment, and the new economics of John Maynard Keynes showed that governments had the power to prevent it. Keynes, who laid the foundations for modern macroeconomics, is probably the most influential economist of the last 100 years. It was Keynes who was responsible for the now familiar idea that, in an economic downturn, governments should increase public expenditure or cut taxes to stimulate the economy. Keynesian economics complemented New Deal-style policies in the United States and the emergence of the welfare state in Britain following the Beveridge Report of 1942. Economist William Beveridge had been asked by the government to study unemployment insurance and related services and make recommendations. His landmark report argued for cradle-to-grave, state-provided social insurance. Ironically, it was Beveridge who, back in 1931, had given a job to a man who would dedicate his life to undermining almost everything Beveridge believed in. When Beveridge, as director of the London School of Economics, offered a lectureship to a little-known Austrian economist named Friedrich Hayek, he could not have foreseen the consequences. It was Hayek who organized the Mont Pèlerin meeting in 1947. Hayek had been catapulted from obscurity to celebrity after the publication of his book The Road to Serfdom in 1944. His core argument was that the prevailing trend towards